Hello, everyone. Welcome to Celsius 233, your go-to place for fiction book summaries. Today we will get lost in the pages of The Horse and His Boy by C.S. Lewis. The Horse and His Boy by C.S. Lewis, published in 1954, is the fifth book in publication order and the third in chronological order of the Chronicles of Narnia. Set during Narnia's Golden Age, it follows the adventures of Shasta and a talking horse, Bree, as they escape Calormen and journey northward. This classic tale explores themes of identity, courage, and destiny. Plot summary. In the land of Calormen, a poor fisherman named Arshish lived by the sea with a boy named Shasta who called him father. Shasta's days were spent working for the fishermen, but his heart often wandered northward, beyond the ridge near their home. One evening, a nobleman, a Tarkan, arrived, seeking lodging for the night. Shasta, curious about the stranger and his grand horse, overheard a conversation revealing that Arshish planned to sell him to the Tarkan. More startling was the revelation that Shasta was not the fisherman's son, but a foundling discovered as an infant in a drifting boat. Shaken by the news and disheartened by his bleak future, Shasta wandered to the Tarkan's horse. To his astonishment, the horse spoke. The animal introduced himself as Bree, a talking horse from the free lands of Narnia who had been captured and enslaved in Calormen. Bree proposed they escape together, and Shasta eagerly agreed. Under cover of night, they set out northward, Bree using his knowledge to avoid their pursuers. Their journey led them to Erevis Tarkina, a Calormen noblewoman fleeing an unwanted marriage to the grotesque and power-hungry Ahashta Tarkan. Erevis traveled with Achwin, another talking horse stolen from Narnia. Erevis revealed that she had faked her own death to evade pursuit. Though wary of each other at first, the two humans and two horses decided to journey together, seeking freedom in the north. Their path took them toward the great city of Tashbaan, a bustling metropolis perched on an island at the mouth of a mighty river. To cross unnoticed, they disguised themselves as peasants driving pack horses. However, as they navigated the crowded streets, Shasta was swept into the entourage of Narnians, led by King Edmund and Queen Susan. Mistaking him for Prince Corin of Archen Land, a boy who bore an uncanny resemblance to Shasta, the Narnians welcomed him into their fold. From the Narnians, Shasta learned of their purpose in Tashbaan. Queen Susan had been courted by Prince Rabadash, the son of the Tisroc, ruler of Calormen. But Rabadash's arrogance and temper had convinced her and her siblings to return to Narnia without delay. Shasta overheard their plans and managed to slip away, reuniting with his companions. Meanwhile, Erevis had her own encounter in Tashbaan, narrowly avoiding recognition by a former friend, Lasrelin, who helped her escape the city. Leaving Tashbaan behind, they faced the vast and perilous desert. With the guidance of Bree and Achwin, they braved the scorching heat, sandstorms, and exhaustion. Along the way, Shasta displayed courage, despite his inexperience and fear. The desert crossing brought their differences to the surface, particularly Bree's pride and Erevis's aloofness. However, the shared trials began to forge a deeper bond among them. One night, as they neared the northern mountains, Shasta was separated from the group in the dark. Alone and frightened, he encountered a great lion whose presence seemed both menacing and protective. The lion's pursuit drove him to safety, leading him to a hermit's hut. There, he found Erevis and the horses recovering after a desperate flight from lions. The hermit, a wise and enigmatic figure, offered them shelter and guidance. As Shasta rested, he learned of the danger threatening Narnia and Archen Land. Prince Rabadash, enraged by Queen Susan's rejection, had launched a covert plan to invade Archen Land, intending to use it as a foothold for conquering Narnia. The hermit urged Shasta to warn King Lune of Archen Land, whose kingdom lay just beyond the mountains. Shasta set out alone, pressing on despite his weariness. His journey led him to a narrow mountain pass where he encountered the great lion once more. This time, the lion revealed himself to be Aslan, the guardian of Narnia and the true orchestrator of events. Aslan's presence filled Shasta with awe and a newfound sense of purpose. He pressed on and finally reached King Lune's castle in Anvard, delivering the warning just in time. King Lune gathered his forces and prepared for the battle. Shasta, still unaware of his own origins, found himself in the midst of preparations. Aslan's providence continued to shape events, for Shasta was none other than the long-lost Prince Cor, heir to the throne of Archen Land. He had been kidnapped as an infant and set adrift on the sea, eventually reaching the shores of Calormen. Though the revelation astounded him, there was little time to dwell on it. Rabadash's army soon arrived at the gates of Anvard. A fierce battle ensued, with the forces of Archenland, bolstered by reinforcements from Narnia, clashing with the Calormen invaders. The courage of the defenders, combined with the tactical prowess of King Edmund and the valor of Narnian warriors, turned the tide. Rabadash was captured and his army defeated. In the aftermath, Aslan appeared once more, addressing Rabadash's pride and cruelty. He transformed the prince into a donkey, decreeing that the spell would only be lifted if he displayed humility, a quality foreign to Rabadash's nature. The defeated prince was sent back to Tashbaan in shame. Shasta, now Prince Kor, was welcomed into his true family. The bonds formed during the journey endured, with Bree and Achwin returning to Narnia as free creatures. Bree, humbled by his experiences, resolved to shed his vanity and become wiser. Aravis found a new sense of belonging and chose to stay in Archenland, where she and Shasta eventually grew closer. The golden lands of Narnia and Archenland stood firm against the shadow of Calormen, their unity and courage ensuring peace. And as the sun set over the northern mountains, the echoes of a grand adventure lingered in the hearts of those who had walked its path. That's it for today, but if you're craving more, dive into the rest of Chronicles of Narnia series by C.S. Lewis. The details are in the description, or just search on Celsius 233. Remember, while our summaries capture the essence, they can never replace the full experience of reading the book. If this summary intrigued you, consider diving into the complete story, buy the book, and immerse yourself in C.S. Lewis's original work. Bye-bye, take care, have fun.